Hey everyone, it is the History Nerd back for some more Victoria 2 action. Woohoo! So do you guys ever have these moments where you think of an idea, something minor, some trivial idea that you're just like, hey, maybe I should do that. And then for whatever reason you're just like, nah, I don't need to do that. Things will be fine. And then fairly shortly after, an event happens where if you would just listen to what your initial thought was, things would have gone fine. I started the recording, was just into answering Twin Dot's question. I guess I'm kind of entering this story halfway through it. Let me start at the beginning. Got home, turned on the computer, got all set to start recording these fun things, and... Deny them. There can't be too many people with illiteracy above 80. So yeah. Sat down, got onto YouTube, checked all the comments, wrote down my answers, went to start up the game, and I accidentally loaded up Civ. Just out of habit. And, we'll suppress that. Never back with the Union. And, so I exited Civ, and I was like, maybe I should just quit Steam. Because I don't need it. I got Victoria on Gamersgate, so I don't need Steam to play it. So I was just, maybe I should quit. I thought, nah, that's not necessary. We can leave that. More consciousness. So, start up Victoria, start recording, load up the game, get fraps running, start answering Twin Dot's comment, and then Steam does a pop-up to let me know some change log or something. And it didn't just freeze, the game, it totally, shut down my computer. Freaking ridiculous. So if I just listened to myself and turned off Steam, things would have been a hell of a lot better. Anyway, figured I'd share that little insightful bit of knowledge. On to the comments. Twin Dot, technically anything's possible. Kind of a cop-out of an answer. I've never played a Paradox game multiplayer, and I really don't have the time with Victoria, especially post-expansion. Let the debate take its course. That's not to say that I won't ever want to do it, but I'm going to need some practice getting used to the expansion, even just getting used to Victoria 2 itself. So, yeah, I'll get back to you on that. In other news, though, I really want to get this Civ multiplayer started. So I'm thinking either... this weekend or next weekend. I'm going to have to clear off some hard drive space. I've only got enough room for about 2 hours of recording. And I would imagine a multiplayer game would go a bit longer than that. But who knows? Maybe that'll work. But I should probably clean off some hard drive space before I do it. So if you want in, post me a private message. I'll send you my Steam ID, and then we can get this organized and figured out. So, yeah. And, maybe that would lead to a Victoria 2 multiplayer game. Who knows? I should probably unpause that while I'm rambling. I am Newfie. First off, thank you for the very quick post about the misnaming. Copy and paste is not your friend when you're not paying attention. So thanks for that. And out of all the Paradox series, Hearts of Iron it's kind of my least favorite. Mainly because, for the most part, I really don't know what I'm doing. The only time that I've had anything near a successful campaign was starting as Germany in Hearts of Iron 2 in 39, and just blitzing from there. Thankfully, I knew a trick to get the Soviet Union to capitulate fairly quickly, and once that was done, it was just like, Patriots. Wasn't even an issue. So, looking at Hearts of Iron 3, that game looks insane when it comes to complexity. So I don't know. I wouldn't hold my breath on a Hearts of Iron. If you've got a World War II itch, I do have Company of Heroes installed. I can get other ones. I can give Hearts of Iron a try, but whew, like that game routinely curb stomps me. Yeah, pluralism. So yeah, I'm not really all that keen on doing that, but we'll see. We'll see. I can see if there's at least a demo of HOI or Hearts of Iron 3 with all the expansions, because I guess the expansions have done quite a bit for the game. But yeah, we'll see. But I wouldn't hold my breath on that. Matt, exactly. The Spanish involvement in the American Revolution. You know, the 13 colonies got a lot of help that the South just didn't get. And I'm convinced that's why the South failed. Favorite generals. And I can't include General Lee, but General Lee is a badass. Absolutely, like, intelligent, cunning, charismatic, and dude could jump bridges like crazy. Actually, my favorite Civil War general, despite it being a Confederate, is not General Lee. Although General Lee's pretty badass. Like, I think anybody who's got an interest in the Civil War kinda has a soft spot for Lee. Because really, like, it's rare to see a military mind at his level that also didn't turn out to be, like, you know, a strange, horrible despot. I think that's what makes General Lee most interesting, going off on a bit of a tangent. But, you know, he didn't, at least from what I've read, maybe this is just perspective on him and what have you, but from my understanding, he was just a pretty low-key guy. Certainly not like a Napoleon figure, who was also a very brilliant military leader. But Napoleon also had this thing where he desperately wanted to be a dictator, whereas I really don't see that in General Lee, so I think that's what makes him such an interesting character. Now that I've talked at length about the general you didn't want to hear about, my favorite Civil War general is Jeb Stuart. I've got a soft spot, first off, for historical figures that are flamboyant in a way. So, like, he had his quirks about him that were just strange and unique and kind of funny. Like, if you imagine seeing the descriptions, at least, of Stuart in the war, like, dude was unique. But he was a great commander. He was consistent, which I think is the main thing that I like about Jeb, is that from a military perspective, you can kind of always count on him. Like, you could, to an extent, some other historical figures. Stonewall Jackson, obviously, but he bit it early. But, like, you take a look at a character like Longstreet. Well, the Army of Northern Virginia was kicking ass. He was a great general. And perhaps it was the pressure put on him once Stonewall was dead. And, you know, because, I mean, really, it was Lee, Stonewall, and Longstreet. Those were the three big figures, with Jeb riding circles around everybody else. And when Longstreet went, I don't know, and maybe I'm not claiming to have any sort of in-depth understanding of what it takes to run a war, but I think once Longstreet died, or no, not Longstreet, once Stonewall Jackson died, a lot of the pressure fell on Longstreet. I mean, and you take a look at him at Gettysburg, and he's kind of already dragging his feet, and as the war winds down, or, you know, turns against the Southern favor, he's still a good commander, and he's still an excellent general, but he becomes more and more questionable, you know? Whereas Stuart, dude, was reliable, from my understanding. I don't know. Plus, soft spot for cavalry commanders. I think if I was alive in the 19th century, I would join the cavalry. Because that just seemed like badass shit, you know? Riding around. First off, riding around. Hands down better than walking. You know, and from just a survivalist perspective, if you get stuck without food for a while, eat your horse. But there's that allure to cavalry. Same reason why I would be a pilot in World War One. You know, despite the life expectancy of those guys being, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks of a new pilot at the height of the war. That's what I would do. That, you know, there's just that romantic ideal behind it, and I think I'd learn my lesson fairly quickly that it still sucked. But yeah, it would be. I think it would be fun. Especially flying a biplane. I mean, when you're not getting shot at, that must have been just an incredible experience. Wow, really got off topic there. Yeah, so there you go. Jeb Stuart, my favorite Civil War general. And I want to be a pilot. Although I do have props should go out to Beauregard. That, you know, being replaced by General Lee has got to just, like, you understand it, but that's got to kind of crush you a bit. You know, being the first general of the Army of Northern Virginia and being the first, you know, Confederate hero, and then to just, like, very quickly fade out while this other incredible historical figure took over. As for Union generals, man, Burnside, because he invented sideburns, I think that's pretty cool. But, I mean, let's face it, the Union had... their leadership wasn't great for the war. Ultimately, you know, their 2 best generals were a drunk and a butcher. So, you can tell right there that it wasn't the leadership of the Union Army that was the alluring factor, or that they held an advantage in, even. I mean, you take a look at... I mean, just... once the game cooperates with me here. Now, it's not exactly correct, of course. But you take a look at this, and how could this hold out against this for, you know, better part, basically, of 5 years? How did that happen? Well, it's because, basically, for the first 3 years of the war, the big side was being led by a bunch of freaking idiots. And like I say, it fell on a notorious drinker and a butcher. You know, Sherman, for all his successes, he slaughtered people. And, yeah, you know, that... the Union generals never really appealed to me. Although, I mean, they're just full of tragic figures that are kind of funny from a historical perspective. But, yeah. What the hell is going on to our economy here? I mean, if I just crank tariffs, that's gonna kill any sort of economic development, I would imagine. Oh, we got a bit of a boost, because probably we took out a loan. So that's not going to be the answer. Okay. I can't raise taxes because of this stupid freaking political party that's never going to change. So what can I do? I can't even invest in my economy because we don't believe in that. So here's hoping it just sort of fixes itself, I guess. See, this is why I don't want to play Victoria 2 multiplayer. Let's be sportsmanlike. We need more liberals for change. And Grammar Nazi, unexpected, eh? Kerbal Space Program, who would have thought it? It's a really fun game, though. I don't understand it, and most of the time, my rockets either blow up before they make it into orbit, or I don't even get into orbit, you know? Like, I can't sustain people up there. But it's fun. It's fun to just slap together a rocket and be like, go, let's see what's going to happen. And, yeah, I had a feeling right when I started reading your comment that it wasn't going to lead to an argument. But the one thing that I absolutely love about that movie is that in a Hollywood movie, so made in America, for about the American Revolution, they hire 2 Australians for the lead roles. Ooh. Hmm. I should think we would like to lose some militancy in Virginia. Yeah, I never really understood that whole casting choice. I mean, really, compared to Braveheart, which is what everyone does, right? Any historical movie with Mel Gibson playing the lead role, they're gonna be like, "This is just a Braveheart ripoff." It, I don't know. I didn't even think it was that good of a movie, really. No militancy. Oh, but more conservatives? Berg. Okay, we're gonna go with the socialist option. Because holy crap, we need political change in this country. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is Mel Gibson wasn't even really the best choice for that role. He only got it, I bet, because of Braveheart. And, like I say, the first thing I saw when that movie came out, I was like, that's just Braveheart in the American Revolution. They should have gone with someone else. Absolutely. Although it is kind of funny. 2 Aussies fighting for American freedom. Freaking reactionaries. Of all the people to rise up, it's the reactionaries. That's insane. Alright. This is hands down the best feature in any Paradox game ever invented. Rebel spawn is a pain in the freaking ass, and this just takes care of him, and then he'll happily go back to his province where he was originally from. And it's like the rebels were never even there, barely had to lift a finger. One of the downsides of this game in particular, when you consider the time frame, is the rebellion movements, the uprisings that happen. Apparently they've tweaked it for this, and hopefully this little reactionary brouhaha, considering how many people are in it, it makes sense it was small. So hopefully, you know, whoops, not that one. Politics. If, like, the abolitionist movement gets more militant, hopefully we see something that actually is some sort of rebellion that'll be difficult to deal with. Although that might be dreaming, considering I've got the 4th largest military in the world, and I've got a pretty tiny... But neither of these are good. Reactionary, I guess, so we can just kill them. Alrighty. I think our industry is a little bit behind, but then again, so is our commerce. Like, everything is. Organized factories. Should get that done fairly quickly. Oh yeah, we'll get that done nice and quickly. Yep. So how are we looking against our rivals? Yeah, there's really no way for us to catch them industrially, and probably not militarily. But That's looking pretty good. Oh, wait. No, build the Suez No, build the Panama Canal. What do we need? Nitroglycerin. And that comes with inorganic chemistry. That'll be what we research next. Then we can build the awesome Suez Canal and get some more prestige. That's crazy. Perhaps even develop a little landing force for, well, little, maybe not. That's a ridiculous-sized army. Well, the Mexicans should get involved in that war, too. So, just freaking work. Then after that, maybe we'll go for some commerce stuff to try and get tax efficiency up. That's probably why we're failing. Oh, here we go. Why didn't that pause? What have we got? Pop up and pause. Wonder what the difference between other and interesting is. Just in case. Confederate anarcho-liberals. Alright, so yeah, kind of to prove my point about the annoyingness of paradox rebellions. One would assume a rebellion that takes over this much of the country would be organized enough to not just spring up little one-unit armies everywhere. I think that's one of the biggest complaints about this, is that this is the extent of rebellions, you know? Like, popular uprisings aren't a threat because they're always spread out. And the biggest military unit I had to deal with there was, 9 units or 3 military units, whereas everything I've got going on, all my military sizes are much, much bigger than that. So there's no threat. There's never a threat to the state from popular uprisings. And that's a shame. Especially considering the time frame. Like, it's so it looks like Bremen has started the whole communist thing. And again, with the rebellion, it's a shame to know that a major rebellion like the Bolshevik Revolution, it's just not going to happen in this game. That's my one little gripe about it. But I mean, it's a paradox game, so eventually they'll get it figured out. What do we want? We're going to move away from residency. So, let's go with... Yeah. Well, no, we essentially endorse. We don't want to get the reactionaries any more uppity than they already are. Well, that's ridiculous. Limit it then. Sending out mixed messages this election. State capitalism. Alright, I'm just gonna leave 3 of these units. Oh, excellent. France has discovered Great Wars. That's fun. Leave these 3 units set. To hunt rebels, and that'll take care of any of these anarcho-liberal revolutions that sprop up. Like, look at this. Why are the anarcho-liberals rising up when really the abolitionist movement should start getting fairly vocal? I mean, it looks like the Union has done away with slavery. You have the Spanish? Spanish haven't yet. So we're not the only slave state. But, like, our debt must be massive. Will that help us at all? Kind of, but not really. Oh, they're starting to lose their grasp. It's just crazy. Like, if you take a look at the political tab here. So it's amazing that like a quarter of the liberals basically are voting conservative. But what are you gonna do? Hopefully liberalization just happens. Alright. Commerce. So, probably business banks. Come on. We even borrowed money from the US. Which is a bit of a concern. If we can't repay them, I think they'll have a reason to invade. Which isn't good. I bet we can hold out, though. Slowly slipping down, but it's going to take a while for Italy and Austria to catch us. So that's good. Let's decrease opinion. Got to remember to do this more often. Just so tedious. There we go. So it would appear our tariff solution may have been temporary. Which is sad. But once we get our economy back on track, we'll be in a much better position, hopefully. Was really hoping to get my navy up to date, but researching naval tech right now is pretty useless. An excellent idea. So that shouldn't take too long either. Good, good, good. Excellent. Yeah, the USA is just discrediting everyone. Yay! Okay. Canal. Panama Canal. More prestige. So let's take a look at this spot. I guess it makes sense to extend slavery, but we can get quite a lot of consciousness if we don't extend slavery. So let's go ahead and do that. Revolutionary for the Confederacy. Balboa will not be a slave state. We probably should get some sort of military defenses up there, though, so for something like this, I've got no problem using Yankee Pops. Although we shouldn't have too many of them left, should we? What's your supply like? 4. Okay. So really, our limiting factor is 18 ships. Wow, that's a fairly big army we can build there. Okay. I don't think we'll build it that big. We'll do a standard infantry. 3. There we go. Just a standard army. Oh, now, let's see. Rally point. Let's see if that works. Ooh, we've got training soldiers, so let's go ahead and encourage some immigration to Tennessee. Oh, that is brilliant. Yeah, poor strata, 5% more socialist, absolutely. And there we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, they're even all merged together. That's pretty handy. Cavalry school. Sorry, buddy, you are in the wrong military. So there we go. Venezuela, you got it. I don't think you're in my sphere of influence, are you, Venezuela? You're not. Diplomacy. So we can probably lower places that are already in the sphere. I don't want to completely ignore it in case, you know, big bad Yankees come along and try and push their way in, but yeah, we'll get Venezuela in there too. Who else can we get? Might as well go ahead and add Ecuador. Mexico, you're fine. Oh, can we get Brazil? That wouldn't be bad at all. What are we looking at? Yeah, we should get involved with Brazil here. In fact, we should make Brazil the top priority. And Peru. Because why not? Maybe 2. There we go. Alright. So, with the creation of the Panama Canal, and the expansion, the ever-continuing expansion of the Confederate sphere of influence, I think I'm going to leave the video there for now. Seems like a fairly good idea to do. Save game, CSA. Alright, so thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. Leave your comments, questions, concerns, jokes, musings, thoughts, what have you below. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.